Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video I am going to be trying out the Tanya Burr Beauty and the Feast Box of Beauty Delights beauty box. Now this is actually £10 at the moment in Superdrug, and I don't know, because it has been reduced so much in price, whether there's going to be any left. You can also phone around Superdrug stores to see whether there's any left in store, because I did pick up one of the last ones from my local Superdrug, so there might be a couple still available, I'm not quite sure, but I just wanted to do this video also to kind of test out just generally Tanya Burr products and to see whether or not they're kind of worth the money, because I know she does sell some of these products separately. Like I know she does the face and cheeks palette separately, and she does very kind of similar eyeshadow palettes separately and lipsticks and stuff like that. So I just generally wanted to test the products in general rather than the shades, if that makes sense. So if you can't pick up this box, you can still go and collect some of her other makeup products, just from kind of her like normal makeup lines. So yeah, if you'd like to see my testing Tanya Burr makeup video, then just keep watching. So in this palette it includes a Too Tempting eyeshadow collection, a Sweet Cheeks face palette, two eyeshadow sticks. I'm not quite sure of the shades, I don't think they have them, but there's just a darker brown and kind of like a champagne shade. There's also a liquid illuminator, and finally there's two lipsticks, one kind of like a dark berry and one kind of more like a peachy nude shade. But yeah, let's get straight on with actually testing out these products and see whether or not they're worth the money. So I'm going to start off by using the Sweet Cheeks face palette. I've already done my foundation, my concealer and my powder. So next I'm just going to apply the bronzer, blusher and the highlight from this palette. So I'm just starting off by applying the bronzer with a big bronzer brush. I really like how it's got a mirror in the palette as well. It's just really handy to have a mirror in like a bronzer palette. Okay, so I didn't apply too much there, and that's quite a bit darker than I thought it was going to be, so I definitely am going to have to blend this out quite a bit. So I would say this bronzer would probably work a lot better when I'm more tanned, because it is quite a dark shade. I haven't got any fake tan on at the moment, and I am quite pale, so if you're like kind of as fair as me, this is a little bit too dark and a little bit too orange. So next I'm just going in with that blush shade, which looks absolutely gorgeous. This is a really nice blusher shade. It's probably not showing up as well on camera, but it just gives your cheeks a gorgeous kind of rosy pink flush of colour. And before I go in with the powder highlight, I am actually going to go in with the liquid highlight, which is another one of the products you get in the box. And this is just their liquid highlighter, it's literally called. So I'm going to try this out, and then if not, I'm going to go over with the powder on top. So I don't know whether it's best to apply this with my fingers or like with a beauty blender. I might try my fingers first. Okay, so I've just grabbed my sponge and I'm just going to dab this in with that, because it's quite hard to do it with your fingers. Okay, so this highlight is really nice, but personally for me, I feel like it kind of just leaves like a stripe of sheen across your face. It doesn't blend that well into the products I have already on my face, so I'm not sure whether I'm too keen on this or not really. It is nice, but I feel like it could blend a lot better than it does. So I'm just going to go over the top with that powder highlight. This will probably be a lot more intense as I'm applying it over the top of a product I've already placed down. Yeah, that powder highlight is really nice. I'm just going to highlight my brow bone with that as well too. But I actually really like that highlight now. I feel like when you apply a powder on top of that liquid highlighter, it really does intensify it, but it kind of gets rid of the streakiness of the highlighter because it blends it in a lot better to the skin. So next I'm going to move on to the eyes. So for the eyes I have the eyeshadow palette, and I also have these two eyeshadow sticks. The eyeshadow palette has got a really nice range of shades in it. So you've got kind of like your neutral brown shades, and then you have got like a pop of colour. So you've got the pink, and also you've got the kind of matte highlighter, which is really nice to have in a palette. And there's also chocolate coin, which is a much darker kind of brown shade, so you can intensify it if you want to. I think I'm going to start off by applying one of the eyeshadow sticks to the eyelid. I think I'm just going to use the lighter shade for now, and then if I want to use the dark one, I'll go in with that one later. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't really feel like that eyeshadow stick really done a lot. I mean, it's slightly made my eyes a little bit shiny, but apart from that, it hasn't really done anything. I might actually go in with the darker one and see whether that's more intense and more pigmented. Okay, so the dark one definitely is more pigmented, but you do have to go over quite a few layers to kind of get that pigment, otherwise the first couple of times you apply it, it doesn't really show up. So next I'm going to go in with some eyeshadows. I think I'm going to start off with the shade Hazelnut Cocoa and then go in with a bit of Christmas Mocha and then Chocolate Coin just in the outer corner, as those are kind of the matte shades, and then also highlight my inner corner with the lightest highlighting shade. So this Hazelnut Coin shade does look like a really nice kind of transition shade, and it is blending really nicely into that eyeshadow stick as well. I was worried that was kind of just going to be stuck there now. So now I'm going in with a slightly smaller, kind of fluffier brush, and I'm basically just going in with a bit of Christmas Mocha, and I'm kind of concentrating more on the kind of crease area and the outer corner, so I'm not blending this as far up as I did the last shade. And then with an even more tapered brush, I'm taking a tiny bit of Chocolate Coin, which is the darkest brown shade in the palette, and just applying this very, very lightly to the very inner part of the outer crease. I'm not gonna lie, these eyeshadows are actually really pigmented and they're really quite nice to blend as well. So then I'm just going back in with that original shade, that Hazelnut Cocoa shade, and just blending everything together. So I'm just going to go off camera and quickly apply some mascara, and then I will be back to finish off the look. Okay, so I just went in with some mascara and then decided that I felt like the look needed lashes because it was a lot more intense than I first thought it was going to be. So I literally just went in with a pair of the Ardell Foam Ink lashes, and it was the number 116 lashes, which I absolutely love because they do add volume and a bit of thickness to your eyelashes, but they also still look very natural and they're very light on the eyelashes as well. So next I'm going to carry on with using the eyeshadow palette and just do a little bit on the lower lash line. I'm not going to go too crazy. So I think what I'm going to do is just apply a little bit of Hazelnut Cocoa and then a little bit of Christmas Mocha on the outer corner and blend it through, and then that's all I'm going to do for the lower lash line. So yeah, just starting off with that matte brown shade across the lower lash line. Before I applied lashes, I really wasn't sure on how this look was going, but now I actually really love it. But like, this eyeshadow palette is so versatile, like you definitely don't need to create such an intense look. Like, you can create a very natural look with this eyeshadow palette if you wanted to. And then I'm going to go in with a mixture of Christmas Mocha and Chocolate Coin, and just concentrate that right on the outer corner, just because I don't want this lower lash line to be too intense. So finally for lips, I've got two different lip shades. One is in the shade Belgium Truffle and the other is in the shade Winter. Now I think I'm going to go in with the shade Winter because I feel like it matches this look a lot better. I have already tried this lipstick in the shade Belgium Truffle, and if you would like to know what it looks like, I was actually wearing it in my previous video, which was my gym sort of based video. So yeah, I'm wearing that in the intro and outro of that video, but I'm going to go in with this lipstick now. It's an absolutely gorgeous shade. So I'm just going in with a little bit of this Rimmel lip liner, and this is in the shade Black Tulip, just because I feel like, because this is a very moisturising lipstick, it could possibly sort of bleed into the lines of my lips and also go all over my teeth apparently. So this is going to be the part of the video where I quickly whiz through all of the products that I've tried today and tell you whether or not I think they're kind of worth picking up as part of her normal range. So first I tried out the Sweet Cheeks face palette. Now I'm pretty 100% sure actually, she sells this separately as like a normal product. I'm not quite sure whether the colours are the exact same, but yeah, I absolutely love this. Apart from the fact that I found the bronzer quite dark, you just have to be a bit careful when applying it that you don't overdo it. I did really like this. I found the blush wasn't too overly pigmented and neither was the highlighter. The highlighter looks really nice and natural as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the Sweet Cheeks face palette. And so next I tried the kind of stick eyeshadows. Now for me personally, these weren't my favourite. Especially the lighter one, it wasn't actually that pigmented. It kind of gave you like a slight sheen across the lid, but nothing too intense. I did however quite like the darker shade. I think it does actually look really nice on the eyelid, and it creates quite a good base for putting products on top or just leaving it as it is and blending the rest of the crease out with a different shade. So yeah, so next we have the Too Tempting eyeshadow collection. Now I actually really liked the eyeshadows. I found they blend very easily. They're also very affordable as well. I feel like you've got a nice range of shades in there. There's not like anything too out there which isn't gonna kind of work with the eyeshadow look. All of which were very pigmented. They blended really nicely. So yeah, I definitely would recommend her eyeshadows, and I know she does do a lot of single eyeshadow palettes that I think are definitely worth the money and are definitely worth picking up. Oh, just remembered I forgot to talk about the liquid highlighter. Not gonna lie, this isn't one of my fave products. I found it just didn't blend as nicely as I wanted it to, even when I went over it with a sponge. I just found that it kind of left sort of a streak on my face, like a line, instead of blending nicely into the complexion. But yeah, I think I'd give this one a miss. I don't know whether you can buy this singly. I know she does have a face and body illuminator, which I really like, but this is more of like a concentrated liquid highlighter, and for me, I wasn't so keen. And then finally we have the lipsticks. I actually really love these lipsticks. The only thing you have to be careful of, because they are a very creamy formula, they're not very matte or anything like that, you have to be quite careful that especially the dark shades don't bleed into the line of your lips, which is why I decided to go in with a lip liner. Also the darker shade, if you don't build it up fully, it can look a little bit patchy, but I don't know whether she's formulated it so it's supposed to come off a bit sheer, because I know when I've watched Tanya's vlogs before, I know she kind of dabs on her lipsticks and blends it in with her finger rather than having a full bold lip. But for me, I personally prefer having a bold lip, because I can't really do that thing where she blends it into her lips, because my lips are too small for that and it just doesn't work. But I do really like these, and as long as I use a lip liner with them, I would definitely get a lot of wear out of them. I absolutely love the shade I've got on now, and the other shade is a really nice sort of peachy pink shade, which I think is a really good everyday one. So yeah, would definitely recommend her lip products. And yeah, that is absolutely everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do give it a massive thumbs up if you did. I really hope it did kind of help you to see a bit of an insight into Tanya's products. The box is probably a bit harder to get available now, because when I brought it, it was one of the only ones left in our local Superdrug. But if you can get your hands on it, I would definitely recommend it, especially for the price that it's at. I just hope it's also given you a bit of help whether I think her products in general are kind of worth the money, and to be fair, I actually think they are. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye!